Okay, greetings, brothers and sisters. Another sort of kind of Hollywood celebrities dropping like flies. Um, bringing in the new year. Bunch of funny stuff here, as I remember it. And this is great. One of my viewers just sent me this today. Today is Tuesday, January 2nd. This will probably be out on the 3rd.
You'll only see on Channel 9. It's the season of property crimes, but this one goes above and beyond. Good evening, I'm Rafael Puris.
And I'm Carla Ray. Tonight, deputies are investigating after someone ran off with an Orange County woman's driveway while she was at work. You heard that right. And now our Nick Papantonis is looking into the situation and why that woman says it happened at the worst possible time.
Was there a good time to lose your driveway? When's a good time to lose your driveway?
The family was already on the clock because they're trying to buy another house. They say this has put that in jeopardy.
Yeah, people don't want to buy a house when they not only is it doesn't have a driveway. Well, it does. It's dirt now. Still has a driveway. It's just not cement anymore. But, if people are still in driveways, you're probably not going to sell your house, right? If somebody steals your driveway, that's not a good look for people, for potential purchasers.
Come home and my driveway's gone.
Amanda Brochu isn't exaggerating. What used to be a concrete slab outside 1438 Bethesda Street is now a patch of dirt that she didn't ask for.
They came in and stole a concrete driveway. I mean, they have to break it up and steal it in chunks. So you would need some sort of equipment, unless you have a lot of dudes picking up big chunks, putting it on the back of a flatbed. I mean, I don't even know how you go about this profitably. I don't know how this is something where, you could piece it back together like a big puzzle, and then I don't know what you do, but seems like a lot of work and effort for something that's, concrete isn't cheap, but
Someone took her driveway as she was trying to get ready for Christmas.
Of all the things that you worried about getting stolen, did you think the driveway was one of them?
No, not at all.
Brochu says it all started when she put her home up for sale. Strange contractors started coming by, measuring her driveway. Her son counted 5 of them. One told Brochu a Tampa area man identified as Andre asked them to price out a replacement. Text messages supplied by the contractor showed Andre asking the contractors for an estimate and giving the Bethesda Street address. But Andre was out of town when this contractor asked for an in-person meeting and then cut off communication when asked for proof of ownership. Brochu called law enforcement.
After the cops spoke
okay.
to them, they called me back and they said that he said it was a mistake. He just got the address wrong. Nothing else will happen again.
1 week later, this image from Brochu's doorbell camera captured a bulldozer tearing out the concrete and hauling it away.
Utter shock. I've never seen this before. I've never had this happen to myself or anyone in our office.
A bulldozer. They had to bring power equipment out there. I mean, it costs a lot of money. I don't know if they own the bulldozer, but if you're renting something like that, it's like, quite expensive. We don't know where they got the bulldozer. Then there's the fuel costs, and this is probably a felony, right? It seems like a high risk, low reward crime. Martha Stewart, 82, shares a new thirst trap. Didn't look so bad when I got up. That's the picture. This is her on Instagram. She's, what does it say here? How old is she? She's 82, right? Like, just stop. I mean, it just, at some point, it's just embarrassing. Aaron Gordon, he's a basketball player, bitten by a dog on Christmas, suffers cuts to his face and hands. They didn't explain where the dog was, whether it was his dog, somebody else's dog. I don't know, man. I kind of believe the assistant. That's a quality meme somebody sent me. Why is the NBA letting Josh Giddey play? The Oklahoma City Thunder player getting lighter treatment than others suspected of misconduct. They don't know why. They've said it's because he's white, which I've heard. They're accusing ESPN hosts of giving preferable treatment to white players, and it's usually black hosts that are being accused on the internet of some of them women, of, you know, downplaying the stuff that happens when white players act out as opposed to black players, right? Which is, you know, possibly legitimate. But I have kind of changed my opinion about this Josh Giddey thing, because it says here that it happened in 2021. So Josh Giddey just turned 21. So 2 years ago, he was just 19 or 18 or 19 or whatever. And, you know, it was a little bit different than if it happened more recently, but it happened in California. And he's getting booed regularly at different stadiums and things. But the problem with it is here, it says, according to TMZ, police are keen to speak with the young girl amid accusations of wrongdoing by the Oklahoma City Guard, which flooded social media. But it's claimed neither the girl nor those around her are talking to officials as they try to gather more information. They're not cooperating, right? They had a website that came out that showed pictures with a guy, and he was in a bar. And I've heard different stories, and I don't know, you know, how valid the stories are. But one of the stories was that he went to this bar, and you had to be 18 to get into the bar. He, you know, was with this girl, but then later found out she was underage, and then dumped her. So that's like one story coming out. Again, he's not talking, team's not talking, NBA's not talking, and the girl and her family aren't talking. The issue here is the girl has hired this nightmare of an attorney, Gloria Allred, right? She's just this, you know, this ghoulish attorney that was hired by these women particularly. And so what's probably happened here is they want money. They looked at this as a payday for them. So they floated out the website, created the crisis, and then he's, you know, probably paying them off, the family and the girl, some millions of dollars, I would think, high, you know, at least $1 million, I would assume, or maybe more, depending on his, you know, whatever it's worth to him, to make it go away. And so now it looks more like a shakedown than anything else, right? Because it happened 2 years ago, and nothing came of it. They're not, you know, they're not taking legal action, which would be, you know, try to prosecute this guy. They could ruin his career, get him thrown in prison, and that would be a way to get even. And so are you trying to get rich, or you're trying to get, you know, this guy as if you're looking at him as a predator, or is it something where you're, you know, just looking to shake him down, right? Which seems like now it's more the case. 3 people sent me this. So there's a kitty here. And the hawk lands outside. The kitty's inside the car. That's great. Nothing will stop progress in 2024. There's a dude feeding water into the radiator. You know, looks perfectly safe. I mean, bless his heart. I mean, there's a time where, you know, you got to do something different. Okay, so this is from the BBC, and they were talking about great white sharks going, I guess this is somewhere in, I think, Australia. Doesn't matter. Maybe it's South Africa. And the seals are now mounting a counteroffensive.
But as the great whites move in for the kill, the seals do something astonishing.
So what they do is they start stalking them. They start hounding the great white shark. I can't show you all because BBC sucks on. Here's an aerial view.
Numbers. These fur seals drive the world's most notorious predator back out to sea.
So that's pretty cool. So this showed up on my phone yesterday. I have no idea why. I don't ever think I ever looked at Cardi B's Twitter page, but this was recommended to me, and it said, Cardi B public service announcement. And I like, what could she be doing that would qualify as public service announcement?
So I cursed out my fans really bad the other day. And today they put me on a billboard on 42nd Street in Times Square.
Who did you curse out? Your fantasy for fans?
I don't know if it's Stockholm Syndrome or we just have a very toxic relationship. Either way, so it just goes to show you that if you're not Barty Gang, you should mind your fucking business. Oh, you thought they were going to leave me? Oh, we ain't going nowhere, bitch. They ain't going nowhere. And neither would I. I love you. Bye.
Wow. It's such an unpleasant voice. Meet whatever this is. Spanish AI model earning $11,000 a month. So they've created this AI model. The AI generated image earns $1,000 per Instagram post from brands like Victoria's Secret, Brandy, and Guess. She's 25-year-old pink-haired AI-generated influencer created by Ruben Cruz, founder of the Barcelona-based Barcelona, how do you say it? Modeling agency, The Clueless. On Instagram, she has 246,000 followers. So this is the page, 74 posts, 250,000 followers. Now this looks like a real person, right? You would assume that's kind of a real person. I mean, all the pictures look like a real person. You know, they have, like, it looks like a real person, maybe gone through some Instagram filters. Some of them look a little bit less, you know, but it looks like a real person in these arenas, you know, in these areas. And they could just get rid of all these Instagram models and models in general, because other than fashion shows, all the ones that are in pictures, they can just hire AI. We'll do it cheaper. You don't have to deal with all the drama, right? And they can just pick the kind of face they want. I mean, this is, you know, this is going to get rid of lots of jobs.
How do you do that? How do you freaking do that? It's made, look. It's made for freaking small dogs and you get through it. That's just, I don't get it. How does he do that? I'm glad you don't do that.
Look at him coming through. So the GOAT is getting it done there. Self-driving cars in California exempt from traffic tickets even if they crash, report says. Self-driving cars in California are reportedly immune from traffic tickets despite mounting accident reports involving autonomous vehicles. The report revealed that police are unable to ticket driverless cars because of a loophole in the Garden State's law, which says that only drivers can be ticketed from Golden State. Garden State is New Jersey. From wrongdoing on the road. And so that makes sense. So apparently Damar Hamlin got a new tat. He's milking that thing for everything it's worth. Then one of my viewers sent me this.
This is what's happening right under your nose while you're being distracted with the tree lighting, with Diddy and Cassie and all the things. This is what's going on. Pay attention.
New York City. Rule 2.13 Isolation and Quarantine Procedures. Published November 22nd, 2023. Let's talk about it, New York. The government now has legal authority to remove residents from their homes and force them into quarantine camps. There is no age restriction. Children could be removed from their homes without parental consent. They do not need to warn citizens when they are coming or how long they must be quarantined. You will be required to take any tests, any steps the state mandates, including taking medications against your will. There is no due process, no court hearing, no none of that. They can do what they want. This is what's going on while we sitting up here online talking about these.
You know, New York is not a good place to live. I mean, these things are going to be everywhere, but it's going to be worse in New York. So, Bruce Willis, Emma warns against having a toxic attitude as she battles dementia. As he battles dementia. So, this was her Instagram post here. And it says,
how do I really feel about today? Well, how do I look? I think this about sums it up. I just got off the phone with a really dear girlfriend of mine who I was able to have a good cry with. It is really important to be able to have someone that you can trust with your feelings.
wait a minute, you're saying you have trouble expressing your feelings in public? It's like your whole thing. We all know how you feel.
Instead of just bottling them up and putting your best foot forward and just kind of soldiering through stuff, which I have.
Yeah, no one's going to accuse you of that. You've been complaining about your husband's condition. You married a celebrity, you know, once an A-list celebrity, and he's older than you. And he ended up getting dementia, so you kind of got a raw deal in that sense. I don't know what whatever it is. The deal that you didn't think you were going to get. And now you're dealing with that, and you're pretty much public about how bad it sucks for you. That's like your whole thing. Like, that's what you're known for.
I have a tendency to do. But, you know, holidays are hard. Anniversaries are hard.
Every day is hard.
But for me this year...
You know what's not hard is Bruce. Kaboom.
It has really been about community, building a community, and connection. And I just want to say that has been my lifeline, and I just want to thank you for that.
You're welcome. I've been very supportive of you. So apparently she posted a photo from a page what appeared to be in the book. This is the book here. Floating in the Deep End, How Caregivers Can See Beyond Alzheimer's by Patty Davis. Going back here. And people caring for a loved one with dementia tend to think the patient is the important one, and they themselves are not as important. Again, no one's going to accuse you of that. Not only does that make no sense, it's toxic attitude to have about yourself. Your health deserves attention too, both your physical body and your mental health. So this was interesting.
Was this the guy who gave you the formula for the time machine?
That's the man.
And what form did the formula take? Did he implant it in your mind by telepathy, or did he give you something written in English?
He spoke it to me verbally.
And you remembered this?
There's nothing to it to remember.
Will you tell me now? The formula for a time machine.
F equals 1 over T.
There it is.
F equals 1 over T.
F being frequency and T being time.
And this enables me to go back to the time of Caesar's armies conquering Britain.
Well, it would enable a mathematician to work this out, yes.
And why hasn't this been acclaimed like Einstein's E equals MC squared?
Well, why hasn't the fact that the United States government's been flying anti-gravity ships since 1956 been acclaimed? Or the fact that there's a crazy...
This guy was a crazy conspiracy theorist back in the day. It's funny. Meanwhile, on Irish TV...
Tested positive for alcohol. Almost 1 in 10 had cocaine in their system. I love cocaine!
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. This also.
Tsunami warnings all over the world today as not just Japan, but Hawaii, Alaska, California, Yellowstone, Montana, Indonesia, the Virgin Islands, El Salvador, New Mexico, Puerto Rico, Fiji, Russia, Texas, Chile, and the Northern Mariana Islands have all experienced earthquakes in the last 24 hours as today, January 1st, 2024, the first day of the new year, it seems that the entire world is trembling. Earthquakes and tsunami warnings all over the world.
Okay, so, you know, this is 2024 is off to a good start. Okay, so that's it for today. I have some more stuff. Lizzo has lost weight, which was, off brand for her. I was going to get to that today, but I'll get that next time. 2024 is going to be awesome. Anyways, just like 2023 and all the years before it, only spirituality is going to save this effing world. It's Paul Romano, definitely reporting from the Apocalypse. In the Ascension, everyone have a blessed day and be grateful.